Hi YouTube, it's me Tobot Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another Korean toy review, or KTRTs as I like to refer to them. Right, okay, so the subject of this review is another figure from the Tobot V Season 3 Wave 1. I've already done Jet Thunder, so let's do another one. Today I will be doing this guy, Tobot V, Season 3, number 1, Tachyon. So got him in his car mode, but before we get into the figure itself, let's have a quick look at the box. Here is the box, typical Korean Tobot box, large window, plastic clamshell inside with a like a reflective sort of mirror card in the back. Has a little window for the toe key. Nice artwork. And it's got all his name in Hangul on the front, and then you've got the Tobot V name on there. And then you look on the back, and it's got shots of the figure from the show, CGI shots, and then on the side it says his name, 01 Tobot V Season 3 Tachyon, and obviously it's got all the necessary product information on the bottom, if that's of interest to you. So yeah, now yeah, look at this alt mode. Look at this alt mode. Tachyon's alt mode is this futuristic looking supercar. But when I say futuristic, I mean a retro futuristic. I mean, this is what supercars look like in the 1970s. I mean, if you was to go back to the 1970s and say to a car designer, right, design a supercar from the future, they'd come up with something like this. Something with lots of flat angles, hard edges, and yeah, something that looks like this. Oh, there we go. But it looks really cool. I love the look of this thing, and it's got lots and lots and lots of detail in the vehicle mode. Really, really cool. I mean, it's got them sort of louvered grills in the back for the rear window or the engine covers. It's got little vents on the top. It's got blacked out windows. It's got wing mirror details, wiper. It's got this little thing at the front. I don't know what that's for, but no, this would be, let's say, a concept car design, so it could have anything on it. It's got transparent lenses. It's got transparent lenses in the front, blue and yellow. It's got a little Tachyon V badge under there. Obviously, he's got his toe key on the front there. And then you go around the back, and he's got transparent lenses in the back. It's got a nice bit of moulded detail on the back. And then you've got the wheels. Now, the wheels are quite interesting because you can see the wheel actually turns, but the centre cap stays still. And that's a brilliant design feature, and typical of a, like a high-end concept car, from the 1970s, which this is trying to be. Now the wheels look great. And he's even got some, Tachyon wording on the tyres of the rear wheels. Unfortunately, because they're like a plastic rim running inside a race, as you can hear, they don't turn particularly well. And when you put this car on a surface and push it along, it doesn't go very far. It doesn't roll particularly well. But then again, that's a compromise to the design aesthetic that they've put on the wheels, I suppose. So you kind of give it a pass there. But apart from that, I mean, this car mode looks amazing. It looks awesome. I love this car mode. It looks super, super cool. And yeah, just looks like, a supercar from the 1970s. And there is one little gripe I have. You have this panel on the top. It might not show out on this video because of the colour balance. But in when you're looking at it with your own eyes, you can see the colour balance with this panel, which is actually the back of his head. His head comes out here. It's like the cover panel for his head. It's a slightly different colour to the moulded plastic. They've painted it, but the colour match isn't quite right. But that's again, that's a minor nitpick on this otherwise amazing alt mode. So can't really say much more about that. It looks amazing. Doesn't roll particularly well because of those ring wheels, but apart from that, it looks awesome. I love the look of it. Now it's a Tobot, so he's got a toe key, and as with the other figures from the line, it's made out of metal. I'm not going to do the old Jobby the Hon cold touch technique thing with this, because well, what's the point? Everybody does that. But yeah, it's made out of metal, and being a Tobot, he has a little slot in the back where the key goes in to unlock the transformation. So you insert the key in there, give it a turn, and all it does is it splits the back of the vehicle mode a little bit. Only a little bit. So, I mean, you could do that yourself. I mean, again, it's another one of those where, yes, the toe key exists. It's a thing. They've made it out of metal. It's got a little slot in it. They've gone back to, you know, the old toe keys where, you know, you had the toe key and you slotted it into the vehicle. You know, you pushed it in or you turned it and it unlocked the transformation. They've gone back to that, and I appreciate that because, you know, like the original Tobots had that feature. They've moved it up a notch with the metal toe keys, but yeah, some of them, you know, as with the original Tobots, you know, sometimes, you know, this thing's superfluous. You don't really need it to initiate the transformation. Others, it does genuinely, you know, unlock the transformation because, you know, it might be particularly well, you know, pegged together, and you know, you just need that little bit of leverage to you know, break the mold apart, and so that you can start transforming it. But anyway, so you've used your toe key, you've unhooked the back end, you can put that down to one side and start the transformation. So really, you kind of break his back, sort of. So you do that, and then you bring the legs down. So you turn the waist around. Then on the back you have these little flaps that flap up. There's these little panels on the back which also need to fold out, like so. And then you've got to bring the feet out, like so, and then fold out the heel spurs, and then you can shut those panels down, and then you have these pieces of the car, the sills or the rocker panels as Americans call them, and that just folds down with like a soft ratcheting click like that, and that then is the legs. So moving up, we've got a gear walking car. You take the front of the vehicle, pull it apart to separate the arms, and then you can fold them down. You then have these panels here, which you just need to unlock the elbows and pull them down by pressing down on the wing mirror, like so. And then what that does is it brings the fist out. So there we go. Then finally you get this piece, fold that down, and then you bring his head up, and then your transformation is complete. There we have Tobot V Season 3 01 Tachyon in his robot mode, and it's in this mode that the colours of this guy really pop. I mean, he looks great in his car mode, but in robot mode, the contrast of the dark blue and the white just wow! He's really striking in these colours. And it's funny you should say that he's striking in these colours, because I've got an RC car in my collection. I mean, it doesn't really look like this, but it has a similar colour palette going on. It's blue and it's white. It's called the Tamiya Striker. If you know what a Tamiya Striker is, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not a particularly good car. You know, it's a bit fragile, a bit prone to breakage, because the chassis is made out of white plastic, and it's got a bit of a weakness in the front of the chassis, and if you smash it into a curb or something, it's, you know, breaks the front of the chassis apart. But it looks amazing, this car. It looks like a Formula One car that's been turned into an off-road buggy, because it's got like an open cockpit, and it looks awesome. And I love the look of the Striker, and that has got like a really cool blue and white colour scheme, as is this guy. So in that respect, it kind of reminds me of this guy, and he looks awesome. I mean, you turn him round, he's got a bit of kibble there, and obviously he's got them sort of wing and sill pieces hanging off his legs as well. But he looks all right. He looks great, and I really like the aesthetic on this guy. He looks really good, much better looking than Jet Thunder. And in Jet Thunder, I mean, he's a bit of an acquired taste, I think, the aesthetic on Jet Thunder. He does have his moments. I mean, I like his head sculpt particularly, but those wings hanging off his arms, bit much really. But this guy, I mean, he tidies up quite well. Yes, he has got, you know, quite a bit of car kibble hanging off, but he manages to tuck it away quite nicely. So yeah, detailing, this guy looks really great. I mean, again, a lot of the car details come through into robot mode. I mean, he's got the front of the car, he's still got the transparent lenses there. He's got a cool looking head sculpt. He's got like got a bit of paint on his head. He's also got like a blue visor, and as you can see, it shows his eyes up quite well. He's got like a number 1 stamped into his abdomen there. It's got some paint detail on his waist, and then you've got all this. Well, basically, this is the back of the car mode has become his legs, and you've got all this lovely, you know, sort of detail down here, a little bit of tech detail on his legs and his arms, and he just looks fantastic. Looks great. I love the look of this thing. It's a really cool looking bot, both in robot mode and in alt mode. He looks really cool. Now, articulation on this guy. Now, he is a Tobot, so expect some things. Actually, no, before we get to the articulation, obviously, I forgot the toe key, because obviously you haven't got the toe key plugged in. So you have the toe key, and it plugs into his chest. Has a little slot there, and it goes right on there. It's basically the same place it goes on the car mode, because the front of the car becomes the chest of the robot. The toe key is in exactly the same place. So yeah, let's put that on there. Right, yeah, so articulation. Being a Tobot, you know, he has a few issues with his articulation, but there are some surprises here. Now, Jet Thunder, his head was fixed. This guy has got a ball jointed head, and it's got a really good range of motion. It goes all the way around. Now it's on this sort of hinged panel, which means he can sort of, you know, look up and down a little bit, and you can get a little bit of, you know, quizzical tilt on it as well. So that's great. So thumbs up there. The shoulders on quite a hard ratchet. Obviously, because of the kibble on his shoulders, it does hit the backpack. So you just got to be wary of that. They will go all the way around, but they do strike the backpack. So there's that. Elbows. Elbows don't quite go to 90 degrees. They're on a soft ratchet, 2 clicks, and they go roughly to just over 45 degrees. Hasn't got any holes in his fists, so he can't hold any weapons or accessories, not that he comes with any. No bicep swivel, right? It's a Tobot, right? It's a Korean toy, they don't do that. Does have a waist joint. Now that's due to transformation, and as you see, it's kind of notchy and ratcheted, but it works as a waist joint. Now we get down to the legs, and you can probably see on this guy a similar problem or a similar theme that's been going on with these other Tobot V figures. He's got short thighitis. He's got these ridiculously short thighs and massively long shins. I mean, the proportion of thigh to shin is ridiculous on this guy. It's totally out of kilter. And his knees are virtually up in his crotch. You know, like his knees are here and there's his crotch. You know, that they're so short. Why do they do this? I don't get that. I mean, I know it's an aesthetic thing, but I mean, come on. And it does hurt his articulation. Now, let's get these arms out of the way. Well, you can't really. So, ratcheted hips go out that far. So you've got a decent split. Now, he's got these wide hip joints, which on previous figures, when you go to operate the hips, they sort of hit the underside of the waist and they restrict the movement. But he has got a bit of a cutout there, so you can see it does. But again, it only goes a couple of clicks, so it doesn't quite go all the way forward and doesn't quite go all the way back. Now he does have thigh swivels, which is interesting. That's something that's not, you don't usually see on Tobots. Now again, the short knees, 45-degree bend. Can't even get a 90-degree bend out of him. And again, that's because he's got short thighs. You know, his calves, he's got rather large calves, which just bang up against the back of his thighs when you go to operate his knees. So yeah, restricted knees. The feet, they got a little bit of a toe tilt, well, toe bend because of transformation. But again, yeah, he's got some limitations, and again, the short thighs strikes again on this guy, and it's a shame really, because I mean, if they'd have given me thighs that were slightly little bit longer, a little bit more knee articulation, it would have been better. It would have been good. But he does have, like I said, he's got a waist joint, he's got a ball jointed head, and he's got thigh swivel, so it's not all bad. It's not all bad. He's decently articulated. Again, because of the proportions on his legs, posing is difficult to get him into a really really cool dynamic pose, because he just hasn't got the motion in his legs, or the proportions are all off. So that's a shame. But other than that, he's a pretty good figure and a really decent toy. He's got an awesome alt mode that looks amazing. The robot mode looks really cool. Little bit restricted in the articulation front, as Korean toys usually are, but on the whole, he's a really good figure and definitely worth a purchase if you're looking to get this guy. So I can thoroughly recommend him. He's a pretty cool toy. I mean, he feels pretty well made. The paint apps are quite good. There's a few sort of blotches here and there, but apart from it, for the most part, it looks pretty good. And before we sign off, might as well do the old size comparison. So there he is with Combiner Wars Megs, and as you can see, he's not only a little bit shorter than Combiner Wars Megs, which is surprising, because young toys like the other Korean companies, they've been scaling their figures down in size. They're not quite as big as they used to be, even years old. I mean, they were full on leader class size bots, but even the leader class in Hasbro land, it's not what it used to be. They're basically Voyager figures with a load of junk thrown in to justify the price point. So yeah, Tachyon, he's alright. He's pretty good. He looks amazing. Awesome alt mode. Fantastic looking robot mode. The usual sort of articulation limitations and some odd proportions on the legs which work against it. But apart from that, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, another thing I might want to mention, he's got a big old hollowness in his back. I mean, he's pretty solid elsewhere, but he's just got this big hollow gap in the middle of his back. I thought I'd just mention that. Just throw that little puppy in right at the end. Yeah, but no, he's great. I like him a lot. He's really cool, and yeah, I'm glad I got him, and I can recommend it to anyone else who's thinking of getting him. He's a decent figure, and I'm sure you will like him too. So that's been my second Korean view of the month. Got another one coming next week, so look out for that. With that said, I've been TFI Wilderness. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da!